Since Prince Harry and Meghan Markle quit the royal family to set up a new life in the States, they've stayed off social media. But now, after 2 years, Meghan has told American magazine The Cut that she's making a return to Instagram, and this time she'll be unfiltered. In the tell-all interview, the Duchess hit out at the hierarchy of the royal family and told of how uncomfortable she felt that photos she wanted to share of her children would have to go to the royal rota of journalists first, a process she had no control over. Well, joining us live to talk about the revelations from that interview is talkTV's royal editor, Sarah Hewson. Sarah, thank you for joining me. So why has Meghan decided to return to social media?
Evening to you, Kate. Well, silence no more is one of the lines from this lengthy interview. We've been hearing a lot more from Meghan over the past week or so. We had the launch of her new podcast, Archetypes, and now we have this lengthy interview with The Cut, which is part of New York Magazine. And in it, she claims that she's excited to talk, that it is, having had the media shaping the story around her, it's good to be able to tell her own story and find her own voice. And she suggests that she might be returning to Instagram. Now, as Meghan Markle, the star of US legal drama Suits, she'd amassed a following of 3 million people, but she shut down that account ahead of marrying into the royal family. And she became a part of the official Twitter accounts and social media accounts, Kensington Royal, with Prince Harry, Prince William, and the Duchess of Cambridge, before she and Harry stepped out on their own with their Sussex royal accounts. But now she says that there was a lot of frustration around the lack of control and the lack of autonomy with those accounts. She talked about a structure by which, if you wanted to release a photo of your child, you had to give it to the royal rota first before you could do it yourself. Now, that is the UK media pool, which covers the Queen and members of the royal family. And she's referring to the arrangement where royal children are granted privacy by the British media, and in exchange, photographs and images are released of key milestone moments like christenings, like birthdays, for example. And she tells the interviewer, why would I give the very people that are calling my children the N-word a photo of my child before I can share it with the people that love my child? You tell me how that makes sense, and then I'll play that game. Now, it's no secret that the couple had a very strained relationship with the British media, in particular tabloid newspapers. They had made complaints about racist undertones of certain articles, and they were victims of online trolling, much of that racist abuse. And I think that is what she's referring to there, Kate.
Yeah, she's not holding back in this interview, is she, Sarah? And Meghan has also shed some more light today on her and Harry's decision to leave the royal family.
Yes, Kate, this gives us more of an insight into the discussions that were taking place ahead of Megxit. And Meghan says that she and Harry were having discussions, and they felt that a lot of the criticism around them was to do with being taxpayer funded. You'll remember at the time they had had the very expensive refurbishment of Frogmore Cottage, which had received a lot of negative coverage. They thought that if they removed the taxpayer funding, then perhaps some of the noise, as she describes it, might go away. So they wanted to remain as working members of the royal family while earning their own incomes. They also felt that they needed to leave the UK, and she said they had suggested they could go to the Commonwealth, they could go to Canada, they could go to South Africa, they could go to New Zealand, anywhere. She says anything because just by existing, we were upsetting the dynamic of the hierarchy. So we go, okay, fine, let's get out of here. Happy to. She goes on to say they weren't trying to reinvent the wheel, but what they were proposing was an arrangement that other members of the royal family, she claims, had already got, but for some reason they weren't allowed it. Why do you think that is, she was asked, and she just said, why do you think that is? Now, of course, within the royal circles, there will be concern about what more is to come. We have the visit from Meghan and Harry next week. We have the Netflix documentary coming out. And at some point, we have Harry's book. Meghan says she never had to sign anything that restricts her from talking, but she says that forgiveness is really important. It takes a lot of effort to forgive. I've really made an active effort, especially knowing that I can say anything, she says. And I think that particular quote might be causing a little bit of alarm this evening.